How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. We got to get right into it. No time for an intro, no time for nothing. It is 100% confirmed we are getting a new permanent fusion in Watcher of Realms. So what is a fusion versus a shard summoning event? People kind of use those interchangeably. A shard summoning event is like what we just had for Rourke. You're collecting fragments or shards of a hero. You get a certain amount. You fuse those shards together. You summon that hero through the shards. Kind of semantic and confusing. A fusion is you collect heroes, level those heroes up, promote them up to a certain point, and then you fuse them together to create a legendary hero. So we've had one permanent fusion. It is a one-time only fusion, so once you do it, it goes away. That's why I'm on the test server, so I can show you. And that has been for Abomination. This has been since the game started. You can collect, it's Komodo, who you can also fuse. You can get Vortex, Damon, and Harpoon. Once you have those 4 copies, you bring them all to level 50, 5 stars of promotion, you fuse them together, and you get one free Abomination. Not 100% free because you had to do the work to get the epics all leveled and promoted, but you understand what I'm saying. It is a one-time, free-to-play fusion. We are getting another 100% confirmed, free-to-play permanent fusion. It will only be a one-time fusion, so once you do it, it will go away, and it's going to be even better. It is for Myca, and it is going to be tremendous. So I have to tell you, first things first, who are the 4 epics you need? Let's get right into it. There is no time to BS anybody right now. So Myca over here, we're going to break her down at the end of this video. Amazing, amazing marksman, magic damage dealer, destroys shields. She's an infernal, fits beautifully into a guild boss team. A lot of Void Rift, a lot of Arbiter of Frost. The list kind of goes on and on. She's kind of just an insane beast. Who are the epics you need that you need to start saving right now? So if you're doing pulls this weekend or next week or next weekend or anytime in the future and you get these 4 epics, even if you already have them A5 or anything, you need to save a copy. Because in just 4 days, this permanent fusion for Myca is arriving, and she's so good, most people are going to want to fuse her right away. So first things first, we've got a fighter. You're going to need a copy of Dalyn. Dalyn is a great cost generator hero. She's my favorite cost generator in the game. However, you're definitely going to want a copy specifically for Myca, so save one of those. Moving right along, if we go down to defenders, you will need a copy of Aveline. Aveline is a dual faction hero, Northerner and Watcher. She was basically unused for a long time. When the tank codex arrived, the Hellfire Emperor, she just skyrocketed in value. Why is that? Well, at max promo, she has 4 base block. Perfect. That is then 5 if she's wearing a Bastion ring. She's very, very strong for tank codex. However, you're going to want to stash a copy for Myca. Moving along a little bit further, we've got some marksmen. We've got Tazira. She's one of the starter champs. If you don't know, there's the 4 Pokemon marksmen you can start with: Brienne, Theowin, Idril, and Tazira. Tazira is one that you're going to need for Myca. Of those 4, she's definitely the worst. I will say she's got usability in the 6 Codex boss, but you're going to want to stash a copy. You are going to need her to get that beautiful Myca. And finally, you will need Imani. So where are the mages? Here we go. Imani, fun fact about me, the first 6-star on my account. She is maybe the most underrated epic in the game. Crazy, bursty, single target damage. Once you get her A3, you can do really cool cycling stuff. Kind of later on, you'll basically just use her for epic-only challenges, so don't be too afraid, even though she can be a really strong carry at the beginning of the game, don't be too afraid to stash a copy for Myca. So there you go. Those are the 4 epics you absolutely have to start saving today. It's going to be Dalyn, it's going to be Aveline, it's going to be Tazira, and it's going to be Imani. If that's the only reason you clicked on the video, no worries, I'll see you later. However, let's break down Myca and tell you what she is all about, because she's really tremendous. I broke her down a bit in a video that I put out, I think it was about a week ago, where I covered the 6 new legendary heroes coming to the game. Since then, we got a 7th. We got Magda. That was very cool. But we have 6 new ones coming, and one of those that I covered, obviously, was Myca. We didn't know she'd be introduced as a permanent fusion, but we know now. So she is a free-to-play amazing hero. Let's talk about it. She is a marksman, but she deals magic damage, so she joins the ranks of Hex and Lunaria as a single target, strong magic damage dealing marksman, so no piercing damage for this lady. She is Infernal faction just like Hex, however she does not have dual faction membership, also in Piercer, so that makes her kind of more like Setram, and you're going to see there's other things in her kit that also make her a decent bit like Setram, because she's a marksman only in Infernal. Different than Setram in that she does magic damage, but similar in the way she just obliterates shields. Let's just start off with her talent and work from there. Triggers a Blazing Plume for every 4 basic attacks. When Blazing Plume hits an enemy inflicted with burning, there's a 50% chance to trigger Conflagration. Conflagration, I think that's how you say it. Am I saying that right? Conflagration? Let me know in the comments. So what is a Blazing Plume? Well, it's going to happen every 4 basic attacks. It deals 50% magic damage 3 times and inflicts a stack of burning for 5 seconds. Cool stuff. If they're already under burning, instead you're going to have that 50% chance to do Conflagration. That is how I'm choosing to say it. This is way bigger. 300% magic damage. Each burning inflicted on the target currently increases Conflagration's damage by 10%, up to 70%. You may be thinking 7 stacks of burning is a lot. Well, in a lot of boss content, especially Arbiter of Frost or of course Guild Boss, you have a lot of burn heroes. You can get lots of stacks, so you can get that 70% bonus damage. This can be really, really potent. Let's go to the basic attacks now. Obviously, you're going to want her at a decent clip, so let's take actually a time to look at her base stats. 3,725 base attack. It's solid for a single target damage dealer. It's not crazy. It is what it is. 12 cost, totally standard single target marksman for a legendary. 2.0 second interval. Very fast, also very standard. Standard crit damage at 150. Nice on the higher end of standard for the Ragegen auto at 14. It is what it is. All the stuff very comparable to Hex, right? She's got that 3x4 marksman range. It's all typical. So the reason I want to talk about this before the basic attack is we just heard about Blazing Plume. You're going to want her attacking pretty quickly. So you want to take good advantage of that 2.0 second base attack interval. You're going to want to build a decent amount of attack speed on her. You can get her to like 1.0 seconds, 1.1, maybe 1.2. You want a lot of instances of basic attacks so you can get those Blazing Plumes. And then when there's burning, you get those Conflagrations. Her basic attack itself is completely standard, 120% magic damage with skill ups. But hopefully it's going pretty quick, so at least it's happening very frequently. A cool thing now with her manual ultimate, this thing is really potent. These are going to count as basic attacks. So another reason, another incentive to get her going nice and quick with high attack speed and a low attack interval. So this comes down to 800 costs when it's skilled up. You're going to want to max skill her if you're going to want to use her, because also at level 4, you get an increase in effect duration by 5 seconds. So this thing's going to last a whole 30 seconds, very strong. When it's activated, she's going to ignore 40% of the enemy's defense. That's crazy. Ignoring defense is really strong. The weird thing is it's saying ignore defense. However, damage from a magic DPS is not scaling off of the defense of the enemy. It's the magic resistance. So I'm thinking it's like defenses, or, basically it's like penetrating damage. So it's 40% also ignoring magic resistance. It must be that. Otherwise, it makes no sense. There are translation issues. I'm almost certain that is the case. The number of basic attacks required for triggering Blazing Plume is now 2. So keep in mind, it was 4 before, so you need half as many now. You'll get more Blazing Plumes, which means you'll get more burning on the hero, which means instead you're going to get more Conflagrations, which is where the crazy damage comes from. That's very good. This lasts for 25 seconds. Like I said, with skill ups, it goes up to 50. Also, you'll see here they write it as penetration. So I think it is proper penetration, not just an ignore defense. It's going to be defense and magic resistance, the magic resistance being the key thing. And it's going to be a whole 50%. So think of Silas. The reason he's so cracked out is because he ignores 100% of defense. She's not going to be that potent, but for 30 seconds when she's ulting, she's going to ignore half of the magic resistance on the enemies. That's fantastic. Let's go to passive number 1, Incendiary Rage. Every time Blazing Plume is triggered, and remember, during the ultimate, it will be triggered a lot. Also, this ultimate's called Blazing Plumage. I don't know if I said that. Funny name. A little redundant with the other thing defining her kit, but it is what it is. She's got feathers. She's got wings. I guess it makes sense. Every time Blazing Plume is triggered, increases crit damage by 7%, stacking up to 5 times. During the ultimate, the crit damage increase is doubled. So if we do the math now, with skill ups, this is going to be a 12% crit damage increase per stack. So that's going to be 60% with your 5 stacks. Now this effect is doubled during the ultimate, so it will go up to 120%. And then also all stacks will be removed after the ultimate ends. So as long as you got her going nice and quick, she can get a lot of triggers of Blazing Plume. You can get up to that 60% very nicely. And then when the ultimate comes around, it goes to 120% until the ultimate's over. That's a lot of crit damage, especially when you can lean heavily into crit damage, since you don't need her attack that high, since she's having this penetrating damage, ignoring the magic resistance. Really cool stuff. I really like this hero. And now the thing that makes her even more comparable to Setram and is going to get a lot of people excited, not just for like Guild Boss and some stuff in Void Rift, but also, oh my god, the Infernal Faction Trials. She tears up them shields. Deals 40% increased damage to enemies with shields. This can go up to 50% increased damage to enemies with shields. A lot of people, as you're progressing through Guild Boss, you get tripped up on those shields. She's going to help take them down real quick. And then a huge thing in Infernal Faction Trials, especially 10, 11, and of course Stage 12, that shield is nasty and you basically feel like you need Setrum, she's going to be an amazing free-to-play alternative. Who knows, maybe she's even better. We won't know till we test her out. More on that at the end of the video. Let's do Awakenings and let's wrap this thing up. A1, so obviously you can only fuse the one copy, but she'll be a pullable hero as well. Maybe you want to use Soul Stones. I wouldn't suggest it. You just wait till you pull more copies. But A1, when attacking enemies with shield, it increases her attack speed by 150 for 5 seconds. That's really significant. 5 seconds, she'll kind of key in, take down that shield. 150 attack speed is nothing to sneeze at. That could easily be, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 seconds off the attack interval, depending on what the build you are rocking is. For a fast build at like 1.0, 1.1 seconds, it's probably just going to take off like 0.2, but that is really something. That's significant. We go to the A2 now, plus 300 base attack. That is a welcome thing when she only has 3,700 plus base attack, so bring that up over 4K. A3, Conflagration guarantees a crit hit. I don't see this helping too much, right? You're going to have pulled 3 more copies of her after fusing her to unlock this. I think at that point, people are crit capping their heroes. I can't imagine not crit capping her just to take advantage of this A3. Once you have good gear, you're just going to crit cap your heroes. However, I guess that this gives some build flexibility. I only see it being relevant in the early and mid game, maybe early part of the late game, for rare cases where people are in that stage of the game, but somehow have her A3. Now we've got A4, penetration plus 5%. Again, this is how I think the ult reads. So this penetration, for a fact, ignores all defense and magic resistance. So if you have her ult skilled up, she's ignoring 50%. Now on base, she's ignoring an extra 5. So in general, she ignores 5%. And then during the ult, she's ignoring 55%. That's tremendous. Her A5, during the ultimate, the trigger chance of conflagration increases to 100%. Remember, it starts off as a 50-50 when you have the opportunity to trigger it. Now it's always happening when that opportunity presents itself. Tremendous. I mean, this is some big boy damage. I'd say you want this girl going really fast. You want a lot of crit damage. You don't need so much attack, especially if you're doing guild boss or something. Naturally, you need less attack, and she's having a lot of penetrating damage. She's going to be tremendous. She's going to be so good for faction trials. She's going to be a hard carry in Void Rift, and she's going to be just amazing in guild boss. You could see how she'd be really strong in Arbiter of Frost with the crazy amount of burns. She fits very well in that kind of stuff as an Infernal as well. For a lot of people that want to run an Infernal team with Pyros or Twin Fiend or Soul Cadens, but maybe you don't have that many Infernal DPS to bring, you now definitely will have at least this very good free-to-play option. I said at the end of the video I would talk about testing her on Monday, maybe even earlier on Sunday. I will have a video testing her out in Guild Boss, showing her in all her glory. I honestly can't wait to do it, so maybe it will be on the earlier side. That's something to look forward to. She is going to be nutty. I think she's an amazing addition, and I like this idea that we're getting a new permanent fusion at the start of every new war year. So maybe every July we can expect a new permanent fusion. Another great shout, right guys? Gear Age 5, you need good single target magic damage. A lot of people need like Hex and Nocturne. Here's a new free to play option, so she's also going to absolutely shine there. There you have it, guys. I hope you are pumped. A final review of who you need to save, which epics you need to keep a copy of, and make sure you don't feed or awaken or something. Save them for Myca. That's going to be Dalyn, the Watcher Fighter. Then we're going to have Aveline, the dual faction Northerner Watcher Defender. Then we are going to have a marksman over here, a starter hero, Tazira, the Piercer. And finally, we've got Imani, my girl, the Infernal Mage. Holy crap, Bowling, man. She is going to be so good. Get hyped for Myca. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll have a full guide to come, as I said, showing her off in Guild Boss sooner rather than later. I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, give it a thumbs up. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Share it with your mother, and I'll see you real soon.
Fastidious.